Salam sejahtera dan salam UTM Sanjungan Bangsa. Kami ucapkan kepada Yang Bahagia Dr. Surveyor Muhammad Farid bin Muhammad Arif selaku pensyarah khusus Photogrammetry II SBEU3453. Hari ini, kumpulan kami, kumpulan kedua, akan membentangkan cara pemprosesan model berbentuk 3 dimensi dengan menggunakan pakaikan perincian MESHROOM atau dikenali sebagai MESHROOM Software Processing. Pembentangan pada hari ini mengandungi 2 bahagian, di mana bahagian A termasuk perkenalan asas perincian MESHROOM, metodologi, prosedur dan pembincangan mengenai hasil pemprosesan. Manakala bahagian B akan mengenalikan cara penghasilan model berbentuk 3 dimensi dengan sekumpulan imej daripada 2D. Dengan ini, marilah kita sama-sama menyaksikan video tersebut. First thing first is the introduction about MESHROOM software. MESHROOM software is an open source photogrammetry application that allows us to create a 3-dimensional models from a set of photographs. Besides, this software uses a non-based workflow to connect all the progress, and it can be duplicated, removed, or dragged from one process to another to achieve the desired outcome. The second thing, what are the advantages of using MESHROOM 3D modeling? Actually, MESHROOM software can be used to extract the 3D points of an image to create a 3D model. Then, MESHROOM helps in creating a precise and accurate 3D model. Not only that, it was also a user-friendly benefit in guiding users in creating a 3D model with the correct method, hence creating a good model. MESHROOM software released a self-contained portable package. They are uploaded on the project's GitHub page. To use MESHROOM on your computer, simply download the proper release for your computer. Extract the archive and launch the MESHROOM executable. Regarding hardware, NVIDIA GPU is required with computer capability of at least 2.0 for the dense high quality mesh generation. 32 GB of RAM is recommended for the meshing, but you can adjust parameters if you doesn't meet this requirement. After specifying the system requirements and the installation, we will begin with some advice on image acquisition for photogrammetry. We will then give an overview of MESHROOM UI and cover the basics by creating a project and starting the 3D reconstruction process. Then do the post-processing. In order to do the comparison between the output data, we have proceeded for 2 different sets of images, which are 50 pieces of photos from different angles and places taken from the rock in front of my house. Then, we have downloaded for another 42 pieces of monstrous image from the sources shared by the MESHROOM developer as per shown in this slide.
Hello, I'm JING. So I'm now will explain about the project methodology. So firstly, the methodology can be classified into a flowchart. So there are 4 phases. So the first phase is about the introduction and also system requirements and MESHROOM software installation. After that, the next phase, we have to do image acquisition, and we have to know the MESHROOM concept and also UI overview, to obtain a 3D model from multiple images, and also to know the basic workflow, and to know the scene size, material properties, quality of the textures, shooting time, amount of light, varying light or objects, camera device quality and settings. The main goal is to have sharp images without motion blur and without depth blur. Alright, the phase number 3, we have to visualize and export the results. So we have to know the FMM structure for motion, and also MVS, multi-view, stereo, and we can do post-processing, mesh simplification by using the MESHROOM software, and then retexturing after retopology, and draft smashing from SMM. After that, working iteratively and also upload the result. After that, we could do analysis, and lastly, the phase 4, conclusion and recommendation. So in the image acquisition step, the objective is to create a 3D model. It requires a sharp image without motion blur and without depth blur, and also to obtain a good picture, the exposure triangle that includes aperture, ISO and shutter speed needs to be perfectly applied. So below is a triangle, the flow of triangle, explain about the exposure of triangle, contain 3 characteristic: aperture, ISO, shutter speed. After that, we are going to import the data. So we launch the MESHROOM software and save the project into a folder first. After that, we import all the sample pictures into the MESHROOM software. So the MESHROOM software will analyze the media data and set up the scene automatically. After that, the third one is visualize and export results. So basically it divided into 2 parts, SMM and also MVS. So after the FMM available, we can see which camera has been successfully reconstructed the image and visualize the 3D structure into the scene. Okay, so the fourth is about mesh simplification. So this is to create a low poly version of model using automatic mesh decimation. Decimation and mesh decimate is used to simplify mesh to reduce mesh size without changing visual appearance of the model, and to create a mesh decimate node, connect it, adjust the parameters, and also doing the computation. So each node that produces 3D media, either point cloud or mesh, can be visualized in the 3D viewer. After that is about the retexturing after retopology. So retexture the geometry to make a variation of the original high poly mesh in order to create a tailored 3D model. Set up a texturing process that will use the result of decimation as input geometry and adjust the texturing parameters, and then start the computation. So the sixth step is draft meshing from SLM. So it generates quick and rough mesh directly from the SFM output to get a fast preview of the 3D model. Bypass computationally intensive steps and speed up the computation of the end of the pipeline. So it provides a solution to get a rough mesh without NVIDIA GPU, and only work on highly textured datasets that can produce enough points in the sparse point cloud. Okay, so it won't reach level of quality and precision of default pipeline, but useful to produce preview during acquisition or getting 3D measurement before the photo modeling.
Alright, so now I will present the part of data and processing. Before we start our project, firstly, we do need to download the MESHROOM software from the link released by Alice Vision. Then, click and open the MESHROOM software to start our job. So, this is the interface of the MESHROOM software, and I will explain in more detail regarding this interface during the section B. The next, we have to select all the images that have been taken and import them into the software. After all images are imported into the software, what we need to do is only to click the start option on the top, and the software will automatically do the computation for every single images.
When the software is processing our images, so we have to wait for the computation time to finish. So it takes time depending on our computer processor. So the color progress bar helps follow the progress of each step in the following. So it will show 4 colors. So the green one has been computed, orange indicates is being computed, and blue one is submitting for computation. So for the red one is in error, so we have to we import the image if the red color appeared.
Once the processing is done, we can view our image in form of 3-dimensional. We can click and move the mouse to rotate around the view center. Double click on geometry, point cloud, or the mesh to define the view center. Click on middle mouse click to the pen, and we can wheel out and wheel down to zoom in and also zoom out.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nasir bin Ali and I will talk about result 1, which is about the rock. There will be 2 results shown, which is result of before and after the post-processing process were done. I have put 3 different angle of the rock, which is from the top, the back and the side. For before post-processing process, as we can see that there is a lot of noise that not been eliminated yet from the result. It makes the result look like a not well processed result and a little bit messy. As you can see, here is the result for the before post-processing process. For the after post-processing process, we use the MESHROOM software to reduce the noise around the rock to make it look more detailed and well structured. Here are the result for the after post-processing result. As you can see, when we zooming in the picture of the rock, we can see the structure of the rock in a very detailed result by using this MESHROOM software. Okay, next I will pass to ZAMIR to explain about the result 2 and the analysis part.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. I'm HILMI ZAINON. Today I want to present about result and analysis for MESHROOM processing. Okay, for sample 2 processing is our sample is a tree, and they face like a monster. Okay, our scanning tree. This is our result after we process using MESHROOM. In front, up, and left. Okay. This is result is after we do a post-processing using MESHLab. Sorry, it's wrong. It's not a rock, but it's a tree. This is a front view of our tree. This is left view. This is a right view. We do the post-processing. We eliminate the surrounding that we no need to view. This is a final result for our processing. after we do a post-processing. This is the model view before we start post-processing. Yeah, and here. Okay, for the analysis, based on this processing, the result from we scanning picture will to appear in 3D view like result 1 and result 2. This is our result 1 and this is our result 2. Okay, result 1 is a rock scanning and result 2 is a tree scanning, or we call Mons tree. Like this. This is a Mons tree. Okay, then 3D view result is based on how many picture we use and focus length position. So we need a few picture that we surround the object to get the to create a object view. After we complete the processing, the texture file.obj file will export into the MeshLab for post-processing. Then the texture file from the processing we export to the MeshLab for the post-processing. In the post-processing, we clear out the surrounding noise object, for example in slide 18 and 20 like this. We eliminate all the noise we don't need. It's before and after we processing. Okay, and then this processing is to reduce a surrounding effect on our scanning object. We eliminate the surrounding object where you don't need our background. For more view that we can see, like such as like this rock, we can see a surrounding noise that we don't need. After that, we do our post processing, then the result will get like this. This is our result after we eliminate all the noise surrounding. Okay, next. Based on result 1 and result 2, we can state that when we use a full capture object like result 1, the output of 3D object appear full object, but when we use only a few part of object capture like result 2, only half object will appear in 3D. You can see that this is only a front and a side view of our scanning. Only the half view of tree we can see in 3D, but in result 1 we full scanning of the rock and we get a full view of the rock. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, now I will proceed with the advantages and the disadvantages part. As we know, every software created have their own pros and cons. So from this MESHROOM software, the first advantage that this software have is that it is very easy to install. Only with just one click to download it and then unzip the zip file, then you can use it already, and it only use small space of your laptop, just around 500 to 600 MB. Even though it is easy to be installed, the disadvantage part is that this software needed high requirement laptop specifications, such as the latest CPU, minimum of 8GB RAM, and a very powerful GPU processor. The next one is that this software is a user-friendly software for the advantage. It uses node-based workflow, which is it connects all the steps from the uploading files to texturing to generate a 3D model. And for the disadvantage part is that this software takes a long time to process the data or files when uploaded. As mentioned before, high spec laptop is needed, so we take about more than an hour to process the data, either for the ROC or the JING. The next advantage that we got from this software is that this software has a command window prompt, which that the command window prompt can tell you directly about what have you done, about where the error you make come from, and a lot more other info too, such as to troubleshoot the error. And after that, it can also support a large scale of image dataset, which is up to 1000 image, just by adjusting the SFM parameter and make it be more strict. Last but not least, for the disadvantage part is that this software need a lot of time to have a deep understanding for us to fully utilize it. As we mentioned on the result part, we have to use other apps such as MESHLab in order to reduce the surrounding noise, which it is actually can be done by using the MESHROOM software, but the steps are quite difficult to be done. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'll be discussing about the MESHROOMs, about the advantages and disadvantages, and the rest of the discussion that I will talk about later. So first of all, I will start about the advantage and the disadvantage. There are few advantages and disadvantages about using MESHROOM to process an image to create a 3D model. One of the advantages is it is easy to install, but the side effects is we need to have a very high requirement for a laptop, which is a regular laptop you can use to produce an image, a 3D model using MESHROOM. You need to use a high-end laptop, not too high-end, but you need to have the required specs. Second of all is user-friendly. Based on my own experience, it is user-friendly because the layout of the software is easy enough to use, and it guides us step by step on how to use this software, but it will take you a very long time to process the data. So keep in mind, it takes time to produce a 3D image, a 3D model from an image using MESHROOM. Even though it is user friendly, it's time consuming. Number three is the third advantage is have command from Windows. And also the disadvantage is needs a lot of time in having deep understanding to fully utilize it. It means it generally means that in MESHROOM the layout of the MESHROOM is easy to use. Command prompt, it means that it is easy to command anything that you need to use, and all the functions in MESHROOM can easily be use for a 3D modeler, but it would take a very long time to understand each of the functions, and when it does, for beginners like me, it really is time consuming to understand each of the functions. But if you really understand about the functions, then you should have no problem using MESHROOM. And last but not least is about this. It also supports large scale of image data set. It means that you can use any image as long as it meets the requirement, and you have no problem in making a 3D model. Okay, going through, we are about to discuss about the 3D model. So as we know, the 3D model are produced from a compilation of detailed pictures. All the pictures that we have taken for an object from every requirement that is needed to upload in MESHROOM will be used to compile in the MESHROOM to create a 3D model. But there are variables that can affect the quality of the image, the quality of the 3D model, and also the understanding of using MESHROOM. And the quality that should be noted for a photogrammetry 3D model is the weather, the size of the object, lighting, which is avoid light glare, object shadow, time of shooting, and also high spec cameras. So moving on. One of the ways actually is when you have a very stiff image which not really moving, and it is easier to process the image to create a 3D model using MESHROOM. So one of the ideas, one of the ways to avoid having a rough image or a moving image is that using a tripod instead of using a handheld camera. Moving on. With result produced, you can go through in more detail and see what image corresponds to what location on the 3D scan. The examination of individual image in the 3D scan gives us more control and better idea of what looks good and what doesn't. When we try to process the data, when we try to process the image using the MESHROOM, we encounter many problems of our own because of the beginners. We had the idea about what is good and what is not when using MESHROOM, what type of image that we should use, what type of image that we should be using in MESHROOM. So all those problems, some of them have been solved to create a near to perfect 3D model. Here is some of the example of the data processing of the image. As you can see, there are tons of image, and all the angle of the image is being used to create 3D model using the user interface. And that's it for discussion part. So in general, it is quite easy to use MESHROOM, but it takes a lot of time and effort to actually understand on how actually we need to use the software to create a 3D model. But overall, it is easy to understand. It's recommended for beginner to use 3D MESHROOM to create a 3D model for any sets of image, as long as it meets the requirement. That's the most important key. So that's it from me today. Nama AHMADSHA, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selamat datang ke bahagian B. Jadi, dalam bahagian ini, saya, Nicholas Goh, bersama sahabat saya, saudara ZAMIR, akan bersama-sama berkongsikan sedikit maklumat mengenai cara pemprosesan data dengan menggunakan perisian MESHROOM. Pertama sekali, kita hendaklah memuat turunkan perisian tersebut daripada laman web Alice Vision. Dan untuk makluman, perisian MESHROOM adalah percuma untuk diakses dan digunapakai. Selepas kita telah memuat turunkan perisian MESHROOM, kita boleh membuka perisian tersebut secara terus dan berikutlah interface bagi perincian berikut. Bahagian image adalah untuk kita memasukkan gambar-gambar yang telah kita ambil, manakala image viewer adalah berfungsi untuk menyemak semula gambar-gambar yang telah kami memasuki. Selain itu, perincian ini juga mengandungi ruang untuk graph editor dan juga 3D viewer. Dan fungsi-fungsi berikut akan kita bentangkan dan juga kongsikan selepas ini. Untuk menghasilkan model berbentuk 3D, kita perlu mendapatkan sekumpulan image bagi sesuatu objek. Dan gambar yang diambil ini mestilah daripada posisi dan sudut yang berbeza. Contohnya, kumpulan kami telah mengambil gambar batu tersebut daripada pelbagai sisi dan sebanyak 50 keping gambar telah kami ambilkan. Dengan ini, kami akan memasukkan semua gambar berikut dalam perincian kita. Selepas semua gambar telah dimasuki, kita boleh menyemak semula gambar-gambar yang telah berada di ruang image. Kalau tiada apa masalah, kita boleh memulakan kerja dengan menekan start button di bahagian atas dan perincian ini akan memulakan kerja perprosesan secara automatik. Untuk makluman, perincian MESHROOM merupakan perincian penghasilan model 3 dimensi secara automatik. Jadi ianya akan memulakan kiraannya atau computation secara terus, dan hasil pertama primary outputnya adalah model 3 dimensi yang berbentuk point cloud. Dan keseluruhan proses pembentukan image 2 dimensi ke model 3 dimensi ini dikenali sebagai 3D reconstruction. Pelbagai kiraan akan dijalankan seperti camera init, feature extraction, image matching, feature matching, structure for motion, prepare frame scenes, deep matte filter, meshing filtering dan juga texturing. Pelbagai kiraan ini adalah sebagai panduan kepada perincian untuk menjalani dan melengkapi proses penghasilan model. Sementara itu, warna-warna yang berada pada bar di bahagian atas perincian dan bahagian graph editor juga membawa maksud yang berbeza. Sebagai contoh, warna hijau mewakili computed atau telah berjaya dikira oleh perincian. Warna orange pula mewakili being computed atau dikenali sebagai sedang dikira. Warna biru mewakili kepada submitted for computation process atau dalam bahasa Melayu, permintaan untuk pemprosesan data telah direkodkan oleh perincian dan akan dijalankan proses pengiraan dalam masa yang tersingkat. Yang akhir sekali adalah warna merah. Warna ini bermaksud something wrong dengan data pemprosesan dan perlu diperbaikikan sebelum pemprosesan semula. Okey, jadi selepas perincian telah berjaya melakukan pengiraan dengan lengkapnya, berikutlah model 3 dimensi yang primary. Satu model berbentuk 3 dimensi telah dihasilkan dengan beribu-ribu titik ataupun dikenali sebagai point cloud. Selain itu, posisi anggaran kamera semasa kita mengambil setiap satu keping gambar juga akan dikira dan dilampirkan dalam bahagian 3D viewer. Seperti apa yang kita boleh dilihat di sini, posisi telah ditetapkan untuk setiap kamera, tetapi saiz untuk kamera boleh di-adjustkan. Tambahan pula, grid, trackball serta origin boleh dilampirkan sekali di dalam 3D viewer. Dengan ini, kita boleh melihat imej kita dalam bentuk 3 dimensi. Antara yang kita boleh memainkan di dalam bahagian 3D viewer ini termasuklah klik dan gerakkan mouse untuk berputar di sekitar pusat pandangan, view center. Yang kedua, klik 2 kali pada geometri atau disebut sebagai point cloud untuk menentukan pusat pandangan atau view center. Yang ketiga, roda ke atas dan bawah untuk zoom in dan zoom out. Jadi dengan ini kita boleh melihat setiap satu point cloud dengan jelas dan kita boleh berputar ke bahagian bawah, bahagian kiri, kanan dan atas posisi bagi batu tersebut. Jadi berikut sahaja daripada saya dan saya akan memberikan kepada saudara Zamir untuk menjalankan post-prosesan dengan pakaikan data kedua kami, iaitu data daripada Monstri. Sekian, terima kasih.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Hari ini saya akan menunjukkan bagaimana kita membuat post-processing dari MESHROOM ke MESHLAB. Okay, di sini kita boleh tengok hasil daripada processing daripada MESHROOM. Inilah hasil daripada processing kita daripada gambar-gambar ini. Okey. Untuk kita melakukan post processing, kita akan membuka file texturing. Kita akan buka filenya. Dan inilah file tersebut yang telah dibentuk daripada processing MESHROOM kita. Seterusnya kita akan buka file dengan melalui MESHLAB. Okay. Ini adalah hasil processing kita dari MESHROOM. Untuk post processing kita akan membuang benda-benda yang tidak kita gunakan atau kita tidak perlu. Untuk membuang benda-benda tersebut, kita gunakan select face in rectangular region. Tekan sekali dan tekan dan tarik kawasan kita mahu buang. Dan untuk kawasan kedua, kita tekan Ctrl dan Shift. Selepas itu kita tarik, tekan dan tarik ke bahagian kita tak nak. Selepas itu kita tekan delete selected face. Okey. Inilah hasil daripada kita buat post processing. Sangat mudah dan sangat pantas. Selepas itu kita akan simpan file tersebut. Kita ke file. Selepas itu kita akan export mesh. Tekan. Dan kita akan pilih tempat kita simpan. Dia akan simpan ke texture mesh. Dan klik tekan OK. Dan kita tunggu sebentar, dia sedang menyimpan gambar kita yang telah kita buat post processing tersebut. Okey. Selepas tu, dia telah menyimpan kita punya maklumat gambar di dalam fail ini. Di dalam fail yang ini. Semua maklumat kita boleh buka bila kita mahu buka. Kita buka balik melalui MESHROOM dan double klik tekan. Dan inilah hasil dia daripada kita buat post processing. Itu sahaja daripada saya. Terima kasih.